This is the number 35. Last year, the 35 number was across the door of Carson Quapple. Carson now is racing junior motorsports in late model stocks. This is a different number 35. Great to see Greg Dreyer from Saxon, Wisconsin here today. Greg's made 2 career ARCA Midwest Tour starts. This will be his first Milwaukee mile run. And Tim, 100 laps here. Can it seem like forever for guys that are used to racing on quarters and 3/4 miles?
Yeah, typically at a racetrack like this, 100 laps wouldn't sound like much, but for these Saturday night guys, this is a big race. A very long race for him.
Greg Dreyer coming to the checkered flag. Again, we've got 28 cars. A couple more to qualify here. Greg Dreyer times in. Again, these are for starting spots. We're not going to send anyone home. We're not going to have a last chance race or heat races today at this big venue. Going to line them up and go racing here. So 24th for Greg Dreyer out of the 24 cars. And next on the track, number 40, Kurt Tillman. Great story about Kurt. He bought Andrew Morrissey's car that Andrew's had forever. But that's not the only car that Kurt owns. He's got some really good equipment. And for that, again, I'd almost call him a gentleman racer. Like in the road racing world, you may not be the fastest guy, but you love it. And you want to have the good equipment and people want to be with you.
Right.
Kurt's one of those guys. Good to see him here.
Yeah, it's good to see Kurt. Yeah, he's got really good equipment and he just loves racing so much, and he's supporting the series all the time, and that's really good.
And he is 100% accurate on his consistency of bringing a lawn chair to the drivers' meeting.
I gotcha.
He did it this morning.
Yes, he did.
Oh, good. Don't stand then. Okay. All right. I should be talking offline to my producer, Kurt Schrader. Sorry, Kurt, we're talking on the stream. You're getting a live look in here on Facebook Live. This is the MidwestTour.tv coverage of all things happening today at the historic Milwaukee Mile. Qualifying is winding down for the ARCA Midwest Tour. Kurt Tillman qualifies in 24th of the 25. He's in the show. We have Matt Votty joining us today on Pit Road. He's got some updates you won't want to miss. We've already teased a few things on our Facebook Live. Actually, our Facebook page, we've got a couple of updates, MidwestTour.tv. On the ARCA Midwest Tour Facebook page, we talked to some drivers this morning, including NASCAR star Eric Jones. He qualified in 4th fastest thus far in Wimber Motorsports machine. So his Chevy's sitting there on pit road waiting for the bump. The top 3 cars in qualifying. Johnny Sauter, Casey Johnson, Jonathan Island are all on pit road, as are the fastest 10, I believe, or so, segregated from the rest of the field.
Yeah. And there's Justin Mondyke, 14th quick at a 29.809.
So, Tim, when it comes to the Central Wisconsin racing, that's your home. Justin Mondyke's made a home in Victory Lane at Golden Sands and State Park Speedway, and anywhere he can run, he really has been dominant the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's racing a lot, and they're working pretty hard at it, and they're doing better in the ARCA Midwest Tour, and I think they're using the old mindset of just running more laps and racing more to get better.
And he has Toby Noodleman in his camp.
Yes, he does. And so they've got really good equipment, good feedback. Having Toby in your corner is not a bad thing.
And where you gauge yourself when it's the off season, it's not what you do in the shop, but they actually Toby did with Justin, they ran the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing in New Smyrna in the super lates. I mean, it's anybody and everybody. They finished 4th in points this year after those 7 nights of racing. That's a really stout start to their season this year.
Yeah. And that's a lot of work. That's a tough deal to go to.
So you've run the Snowball Derby.
Yes,
you've run
I
some
have.
other big races in this platform. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, that's a grind, isn't it?
That's a grind. I attempted it twice, and I never did make it through the whole week. So, yeah, I know what it's all about.
Griffin McGrath on the racetrack, the Iowan. He's doing more stuff called Legends and Bandoleros. He's got a distributor that comes into Wisconsin. There's a couple of different distributors. A great series they have now. A lot of young drivers. We saw Tristan Swanson has been racing Legends cars, but Griffin is one of the distributors. Legends Direct. Legends.direct is his business with his family.
Yep.
Great to see Griffin here racing again in the ARCA Midwest Tour, where he raced full-time for several years. Let's see, Griffin's locking in 21st in time. And I've seen Griffin, not always the best qualifier, but if I recall, he's always that guy running 8th, 9th, 10th, maybe saving a little bit.
Yeah, he's a good racer. He'll be there at the end.
So 27 cars have taken time. I believe, let's see, I'm looking now. We've got some stories, and Matt Votty's all over it down there. He told us there may be a car that has gone home. Luke Fenhaus has had some issues. He did not qualify. Eddie Hoffman had some transmission issues. He qualified 10th fastest in his car. So we had 28. We lost one.
Yeah, he looks like he's with Johnny right now.
Matt Vadi, welcome to MidwestTour.tv. Let's hear from you and the pole sitter for today's Father's Day 100.
Test.
Or should I should say fast qualifier.
Here with quick qualifier, Johnny Sauter, Father's Day 100 qualifier. You have been really close in the super late models here. You got a win in the Busch Series. What's it going to take today?
It's a good question. Just really impressed with the Schaefer bunch and the car they brought here. It's really fast. It's my first time driving it. So Milwaukee's always been a good racetrack for me, historically qualifying. I think I got a pole here in ASA, Busch Series, and now late models. So 100 laps here is a long time. I think the race pace is going to fall off quite a bit. So we worked on that pretty hard yesterday, just race pace speed. And so I'm pretty stoked to be driving this thing. And my wife and kids will give me a reprieve since it's Father's Day and we're on the pole. So that's cool. But just having a lot of fun. This place means a lot to me growing up in Wisconsin here, and it's kind of like a home game, so to speak, kind of like a Daytona feel to me. So just the history of this place is pretty cool. So hopefully today's as good as I think it can be, and we'll just race as hard as we can.
This deal coming about pretty late. Talked to Paulie a little bit about it this morning. You mentioned it's the first time you've been in this car. Tell us through how this deal came about, and are you going to do more than just today?
Yeah, I think we're just kind of going with the flow here, see how it goes. Obviously, Paulie's a big part of this deal, and I like Paulie a lot. So I haven't even met his dad yet, so I'll meet him sometime today. But, just we're all racers, just a collaborative effort, just try to put all of our best ideas together. And we got to go shake the car down a little bit last week at Grundy for a couple hours. And Paulie was there. It was fun, and just a good group of guys. So hopefully we run some more, but you never know. We'll just see how today goes.
Well, best of luck to Johnny Sauter, an Aceta native, trying to see if he can hit 5 machine in victory lane for Paul Schaefer and Schaefer family.
Great story, Matt. Thanks. Great get. Thank you, Johnny Sauter. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a story to watch. I said pole sitter because guess what? I'm used to doing some NASCAR stuff. I'm used to saying the fast guy's always on the pole. Not in the ARCA Midwest Tour. We got an invert going.
Correct.
Does it matter for Johnny where he starts with the car that good?
Well, I think somewhere in the top 10 is where they're going to start, probably with the invert. So I think he'll be fairly aggressive on restarts, maybe a little more experienced, and that's going to play a big part, especially during all of these restarts today.
So the lone car sitting on pit road is the white and black number 5 that Johnny Sauter has qualified quickest here for the Father's Day 100. That's Paulie Schaefer's car, but Paulie's not raced this year. The last 7 years, he's run every race in the Midwest Tour, top 6 in points every year for 7 years, but a change in the dynamic for that team. This is the first time that Paulie's presenting a car at the in the ARCA Midwest Tour in 2022, and Johnny sounds pretty happy. I know when he's not happy, that was a happy Johnny Sauter.
Definitely happier than normal, so that's a good thing.
I was here when he won the pole. He had Joe Shear Jr. as a crew chief, run the Xfinity race. Clouds coming in. Johnny put it on him, and at lap 200, the skies opened. Johnny Sauter won the race. I happened to be helping out in the media center. And to this day, Johnny said, "That was a huge win, Jim, but you owe me one." I said, "What do I owe you?" He said, "I couldn't spray down my guys in victory lane with the beer that you gave me to throw around because we were in a building because it was raining so hard we had to do the victory lane ceremony in a room, not where he wanted to celebrate with his guys." So he said, "You still owe me one. I still need to get my guys wet." And today very well could be the day. Chris Purdy and those guys.
It could be the day.
Man, Dave Baling is the tire guy. He was with Howie forever.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of experienced guys. Tony Strupp Jr.'s on that car helping him out as well. It's really cool to see Johnny just saying, "I'm going to try this." And there's more to the story, Tim. We can tell during the race. We're going to save that. That's the teasing part of what I get to do.
There you go.
We're going to save more on how this deal came together. Johnny told us some of the story. We've got the whole story for you because we know Johnny Sauter is going to be a factor today on our MidwestTour.tv coverage. I know I sound like one of those game show guys saying, "Wait, we got more for you," but we do. We're giving you a live look in here on Facebook. Go to MidwestTour.tv. Subscribe today. You get the whole month. And we've added the Big 8 late model series to our schedule as well. That's all part of your MidwestTour.tv involvement. So subscribe today. Subscribe now so you don't miss a lap of the action, because at some point today, we're turning off the switch of our Facebook Live look-in. So we want you to be part of this. If you can't join us here at the Milwaukee Mile, stay tuned. At some point today, we're going to switch over stop our Facebook live feed and switch over to just the subscriber base for our MidwestTour.tv coverage here at Milwaukee.
Should be great racing, Jim.
It's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great cars. We mentioned there's different divisions now. Rolling trackside, as we give you a live look in here, this is the Mid-American Stock Car Series. They raced here a lot. When Gary Vercauteren started this series, he brought it to the mile. It was part of the Governor's Cup weekend back in the day, and we had, I think, 53 cars one time show up.
Wow.
This platform races at Grundy County Speedway. The Touring Series, they race at Hawkeye Downs Speedway. They race at various select racetracks, but their platform of what they have for rules, that's kind of your sportsman. That's a sportsman level car, like at Slinger Super Speedway, for example, here in Wisconsin. There's a Midwest sportsman class. It's not sanctioned, but it's the Mid-American Stock Car rules.
Right.
It's really affordable for guys that want to race at a different track.
Yeah, that, and I think the rule packages stayed very similar all this time, so they don't have to spend a bunch of money upgrading their cars all the time.
And one thing I know over the years, talking to my friend Bobby Gutneck, for example, who's been a really staunch supporter for years in the Mid-American Stock Cars, even on dirt and now pavement, he said those stock components in the front end, there are stock components in the suspension that you really got to figure out, and at this racetrack, it better be new stuff.
Yeah.
Because it can really be taxing on these not made for racing components, but that's part of that cost containment.
Right.
And the ability to run 30-lap races at Hawkeye Downs and 40-lap races at Dells Raceway Park and tracks like that.
Correct.
It's the biggest track to get the crack at.
Yep.
So we, one year when I was working here at the mile, we did a dash for cash for the Mid-American Stock Car Series. We qualified drivers throughout the season. 16 cars, paid $2,000 to win.
Wow.
Bill Breitzel was in that race, and he won that race, and he's in that green 5 going on the backstretch.
Yep. Bill's been around a long time. I admire his time behind the wheel in modifieds and trucks and Mid-Am and everything he's done. I always like to go talk to him and watch him race.
And Billy is at it again here today in his American Stock Car. He's got an old ASA car that David Stremme drove with Howie Leto. He's got that for his road racing now. It's a GT2 or GT3 category.
Okay.
He gets to play with that. He also got a motor because he went to Bristol on the dirt as a fan with his friends, the Mechs.
Yeah,
they run their
that.
modified there, so he said, I gotta get me one. So he got a motor. His wife Jan, not only is she the boss, she often is the only other pit crew member, which ticks off guys like you that he rolls in, he's this fast, and he and his wife are in the lawn chair while you're trying to figure out how to get another tenth out of your car because he's got you by 4 tenths.
Yeah, and he's very competitive too. You can still see it in him.
Yeah, great to see Bill here among the Mid-American Stock Car Series. So again, this is a live look in. You're going to hear us talk a lot about what's going on, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to try to turn things over to Dan Diker, who's here on behalf of the series. This practice session. Maybe this is a group qualifying. I can't tell you which. I'm guessing it's a group qualifying deal.
Looks like group qualifying.
Sending about 6 at a time. So we're going to give you a taste of what you're going to see from others talking about the series that are represented here on this huge weekend, this huge race day at the Milwaukee Mile. So we're going to turn things over to the public address. Dan Diker's here to call this series. We've also got the Midwest Truck Series. The Upper Midwest Vintage cars are here. They're really cool. They're going to see all of that today on our coverage on MidwestTour.tv. So as we are hanging out with you today on this live look, and this is something you don't see every day. MidwestTour.tv cameras work everywhere at this beautiful facility. This is the tech line. So this is post-qualifying tech for the Midwest Tour. That's Albert Francis's car rolling through. We talked about him, top 10 qualifying speed. We're waiting on the inversion, so we don't know exactly where he's going to start, but this is part of that process, weighing him after qualifying, making sure everything's in line. This may be the last time they roll through scales, I'm guessing, until after the race?
I would say so, yeah. So they're probably just doing scales, and I don't see the templates out, or maybe they did that before they went out. So, yeah, this is very good pictures. It's neat to see this from this perspective.
So Jonathan Island, former champion of the series, most starts of anybody else. He's done this a lot, climbing in, climbing out. Gets on the scales. They have to weigh the car with driver to make sure that minimum weight left side, right side is matched.
Correct. And
can't go under, you get bounced.
Yep, left, right, and total. Yep.
And there's also sometimes a fuel allowance, right? There could be a weight difference there.
For qualifying.
Start the race to the end or something?
Yeah, for the race, it's 100 pounds, I guess, is what I heard today in the drivers' meeting.
All right.
So they allow 100 pounds light for the total weight at the end of the race.
So you weigh now, like Jonathan weighed now, say the number is 3,200 pounds.
Yep.
When he comes back across the scale after the race, he can be no lighter than 3,100 pounds because the fuel and the other factors, they allow that allowance of 100 pounds.
Correct.
Less.
Yep.
But no more.
No more.
All right. Some famous drivers have been balanced for small weight infractions.
Yep, we've all seen it.
Some not so famous drivers have had really good runs. You're like, I'm going to stand by the scale and watch what this guy did. Is he legal?
Right.
That's all part of the fun. If you get a chance to get a pit pass, stay out of the way, but enjoy it, because we gave you a look in there. You want to see more of that. We have it for you here on MidwestTour.tv.
Nut House entry.
We're not going to join Dan Diker back on the PA for the Mid-American Stock Car Series.
Also
Group
to qualify is the 31 of Rick Redding at Tackman out of Hartford, Wisconsin. Everflow finish line flooring. Jim Cormack, the 7C out of Plover, Wisconsin, has the Zabusky Brothers, JR's Auto Body, Superior Roofing, TC's Truck Parts, H&K Tool and Die, Advanced Stainless, and Hilltop Auto Wrecking Machine.